How you doing today, folks? Arturo Del Rio here. If you don't know me already, I'm the founder of Dream Build Live, partner in ecotech.net, and of course flightplan.us. And all we do is one thing. We help you take your vision, your dream business, from an idea, and I don't care if we need to develop that product all the way through the launch plan. That's what the flight plan is, of course. And then for existing businesses, man, we help grow the hell out of your customer base. And we are not talking about followers. We are talking about making money, which is our favorite. Anyway, so I wanted to talk to you today about something very important, and this is excellent for early stage people, people that are thinking about opening up that business, people who, launched recently, but maybe they quite didn't have their flight plan together. I want to talk to you about this concept of, one, setting the goals, okay? Setting those dreams out there. And then I want to talk to you about, creating the basic steps required, all right, to achieve that goal. Now, I can't give it all away because I don't have nothing to sell you myself, and I got to make money too, but I'm going to give you some direction and some pointers that are going to help. And as always, of course, take a look below. Right down there, we're going to have some links for you to set up your free and claim that free flight plan consultation. All right, so let's talk about this a little bit. So first and foremost, I want to talk to you about the goals. The biggest problem with most people and their goals, I'm just going to say, your goals suck. That's right. Sorry, your goals are bullshit. They're too small. They're too small. Increase your goals. Let me tell you why. Because people don't aim high and miss. People aim low and they hit, baby. That's what happens. People aim low and they get what they ask for and then they complain about it. So first and foremost, increase your goals. Raise your standards. Increase your expectations. Because if you want to do big things, you need to try to do big things. And remember something else. Goals, large or small, I've come to find over time, frankly, they're equally as difficult. At least the big one, though, is worth the hassle. So first and foremost, that's rule number one, right? Take those goals, take those standards, take what you want and ask for what you really want, not what you, in your mind, have convinced yourself, this is the best I can do. That's the biggest problem. People do it all themselves. They sell themselves short. They make that mistake. You may have seen the other video. They talk to their friends. Friends talk them out of it. That's not true. So raise your goals, first and foremost. The other piece to this, and this is hugely important. One reason I think a lot of people tend to fail, okay, and this is a motivation problem. There's a couple things going on here, but it's not the goal itself. Again, it's how they envision and craft that flight plan to get to there. Because you got to remember, when a plane's taking off, right? Pilot doesn't jump in, start the engine, and roll. That's not how that works, okay? If a ship is leaving a harbor, there's going to be some type of plan. We don't just get in that plane and we'll end up in Mexico City tomorrow. That's not how that works. There's tons of planning, okay? We had to maintenance the plane, check to see if everything was functioning. We had to think about, the logistics. We had to think about how to get the people on board, what time, what other planes were coming in and out. Then we had to think about, what that flight time's going to be, what we're going to serve during that flight. Are we going to be sitting first class or are we going to be in the back? Are there people we need to call and prepare for where we're going to arrive, where we're going to land? And then, of course, we have to land smoothly. Then after landing, we have to continue on because the flight isn't over yet. Remember, just because your flight has reached the destination doesn't mean you can take that seatbelt off. And this is true for your business. Your business is, frankly, it's in perpetuity, right? It's constant development, constant learning, constant changing. Again, this is the age of constant change. So what happens? People set that goal and they're only looking at the landing, okay? And the landing, when you just had the idea or you're just starting out, while obviously you have to keep your mind on that longer term goal, the reality is it becomes overwhelming because you don't think you're making progress. Because the reality is to get to that goal, it may take you 3-5 years. And you're so busy focusing on that, you're not seeing what's going on today. You're not seeing the small victories you've had. So the first lesson is break it down. Break it down into little bites. I heard this fantastic joke, and it reminds me of this. People, how do you eat an elephant? That's right. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, baby. So it's the same thing with this. Break things down into small, consumable bites and celebrate those small victories, man. Maybe you have an idea for, I don't know, some beauty product you want to do. You had the idea and you're sitting down and you did some research and you figured out, heck, man, this is how I can do it. Perfect. All right, great. So now start figuring out what the steps are going to be. Do I need a website? Who am I marketing to specifically? What is my brand? What is my message? What's different about me than everybody else? Because you got to remember, people don't care about you, your products, and they certainly don't care about your company. What they care about is the result. And they buy because they want to know why. They want the story, the feeling behind it. So what's that? You got to think about that. You got to think about all of these little pieces. So maybe now you have an idea of what you're doing, what your brand is, what the real message is, and why you're doing what you're doing, and how you're going to, and who your demographic is that you're chasing. So now, how do you do it? So you know where the end goal is. You want to be a multi-millionaire, tycoon living on a yacht somewhere, jet set, whatever that goal is, right? And, power to you. But that's not going to happen in 2 days. So after 6 months, you're not there yet. And man, it feels like you haven't done anything. You haven't succeeded at all. But let me tell you something, folks. It's not true. So think about how you can take your flight plan, okay? How you can take that big monster goal and how you can break it up into small little bites, small consumable pieces. Maybe it's something as small as, this week I'm going to do all my research and figure out what the business model I'm taking is. Damn it. After that week and that's completed, celebrate that. Write the steps down. Give yourself the old pat on the back, baby. You got a piece done. And remain motivated and remain, in that zone, in that mentality. Because, again, if you don't break these things down into small pieces, it's never going to be consumable. And you're going to be so focused on the long term that it's actually going to demotivate you in the short term. So that's a big piece of the goal setting. And as you go through this process, and you think about the flight plan, here's a couple things I just want to give you an overview of the things you think you need to probably include and think about in your business. Now, there's some basic stuff, right? Register your business, okay? You'd be surprised how many people jump on and haven't even thought about getting that LLC up, okay? So that's number one. Are you going to require insurance? Perfect. Get that quote. Is this something you're going to do virtually? Okay. Are there going to be any specific tax implications? Is that something you want to think about? Then there's the business piece itself. How are you developing the product? Is it a physical product? Is it a service? Is it some virtual consumable thing? How are you going to actually develop it? Okay. Is that something you're outsourcing? Is that something you can do yourself? Is it something that you should do yourself? Okay. Then there's the pieces like, your visibility, your brand awareness. Is this something that you want to do, with YouTube? Do you need Facebook, Instagram? Is this something through social media? Is there a Twitter? Should you actually be blogging? Might it be pertinent to write a book? Or have somebody ghostwrite it for you if that's the case? Is that something important? Thinking about other things too. Creating clarity around your message and your brand across all media and all platforms. Can you do that? Do you understand how to do the marketing portion? Do you know how to actually grow and bring in leads, right? Is this something that we're going to have to do a traditional sales effort for? Or is it going to be a combination of some technologies? Are we going to create click funnels? Is this going to be a pay per ad thing? Is this something that we should be promoting and really running those ads and everything through Facebook, Instagram? I don't know. That's what I'm talking about. You got to think about this. Also, how do you want to interact with your customers and who is that customer? So I'll give you an example. For us, we're extremely selective, and I apologize in advance to some of you. We are not going to work with some of you. We only bet on winners. We only bet on people that we really believe in and think have what it takes, because we do a lot of work up front. And especially with the smaller upcoming businesses, we want to set it up so that we're not crushing you, with payments, and you can't afford to do what you need to do. So we do a lot of work up front for less, and obviously we make it up on the back end. But the reality is, in order for that to work, we need people who we know have what it takes, who are actually incented, who are actually hungry, who are going to be successful, who are going to go get it done. So you got to think about that too. You got to make a business decision. I'll tell you something. There are some people we just don't work with because we don't like them. They're not pleasant. We don't enjoy working with them. And, in our work, the reality is helping somebody, launch a business soup to nuts or grow the hell out of their business. It involves a ton of work, a lot of consulting, marketing help. We may have bloggers. There might be, We might have to do the Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, maybe doing videos. We actually be going out and doing we also have a multimedia company for photo, video, and all that stuff too. Are we going to be doing that with you? Do I need to spend a lot of time interacting with you? Are you the kind of person who's not coachable or somebody who's just combative all the time? So think about that. It's an important thing to think about because remember, the wrong customer, while they may be paying, maybe a monster suck on your resources and you don't want them. So you got to think about that. So who's your specific audience and why? And, how are you going to interact? Things like hours of operation. That sounds basic, but man, that's something to think about. When you're taking it to market too, how are you going to continue and proliferate? Now, the other thing nobody thinks about, the overwhelming majority, how are you going to stay relevant? Yeah. That's right. I know you're looking at me like I'm crazy. Oh, well, I just opened. What do you mean stay relevant? Well, yeah. If you're not thinking about how you're going to stay relevant, stay in the market, keep people interested, keep people on top of things, then guess what? You're probably going to become irrelevant if you're not thinking about that now. Hey, look at all the Fortune, 500, Fortune 1000 companies that have closed. Monstrous, huge organizations that just didn't keep up with the pace of change, that thought they were too big to fail. And guess what? Gone. By the way, good lesson in that. The second you think you know everything you need to know, the second you think you don't have anything left to develop is the second you become irrelevant and you fail. Know that. So keep that present in mind. So think about things like that also, what's the next step for your business? What's the next step? Are you going to franchise? You want to grow more? Are you looking to sell your business? Because if you're looking to eventually sell the business, there's a lot of stuff you probably need to do before you open. You got to get that market capitalization right. All right. How are you going to handle that? So there's a lot that goes into these flight plans. There's a lot that goes into goal setting. There's a lot into breaking down those goals into small consumable steps. So as always, listen, I hope I gave you some value here. I know I gave you a ton to think about, but it's important. And as a partner, as somebody who wants to see you succeed, I want to put these ideas in your head so you're out there proactively attacking them. And no, there's a lot more than I even discussed. But these are just some basic things that you really need to be present about. So listen, if you need help, by the way, as always, look down here, all right? Set it up. Set up that free flight plan discussion. And we'll have a nice hour consultation. I'll tell you, we will give you a hand for free. Now, know something, though. You jump on a call with me or one of my monsters, you're probably going to buy something because we do rock. Anyway, all right, I'm just playing. So listen, check us out as always at iamdbl.com. Of course, at ecotech.net, ECCOTECH.net, and flightplan.us. And whenever you're ready to get that flight plan going, get that business growing, making that money, hit us up. Dream, Build, Live.